Hello, great to have your company on 𝐊𝐿𝐼𝐴 TV. I'm Sage and you're watching The Buzzing Trends. In today's show, we'll be looking at the ASX listed stocks like Telstra, Commonwealth Bank, NAB and ANZ Banking, which have announced share buybacks recently. So let's begin. The first company on our list to have recently announced a share buyback program is Telstra Corporation. It is the provider of telecommunication and information services like mobiles, internet and pay television, which has recently come up with multiple announcements recently, prompting increased interest from the investors. And Telstra has recently released its financial year 2021 results while announcing a substantial share buyback program worth up to 1.350 billion Australian dollars. Besides, the company also announced a dividend distribution of 0.08 Australian dollars per share, bringing the final dividend to 0.16 Australian dollars per share, or 16 cents Australian. Another big announcement to have been made by Telstra at the start of the week is that Telstra had signed a deal to acquire Medical Director for an enterprise value of 350 million Australian dollars. Medical Director is a leading provider of healthcare technology solutions to medical practitioners, medical practices and hospitals. On market buyback of shares, Telstra announced it would return about 50% or up to 1.35 billion Australian dollars of net proceeds to shareholders from its 𝐊𝐴𝐴 Towers transaction during financial year 2022 through the market share buyback. In June, Telstra had entered into a long-term strategic partnership with a consortium comprising of the Future Fund, Commonwealth Superannuation Corporation and Sunsuper. In this partnership, the consortium would acquire 49% interest in Telstra 𝐊𝐴𝐴 Towers. Telstra's 𝐊𝐴𝐴 business is the biggest mobile tower infrastructure provider in Australia with around 8,200 towers. The transaction valued Telstra 𝐊𝐴𝐴 Towers at 5.9 billion Australian dollars. This indicates financial year 2021 pro forma enterprise value to earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortisation after leasing multiple of 28 times. The company expects the net proceeds after transaction cost to be 2.8 billion at the conclusion. The transaction is underway and is likely to complete in the first quarter of financial year 2022. Following the receipt of the proceeds from the transaction, Telstra would likely start the on-market buyback from 16th September onwards. And let us now explore Telstra's recently released financial year 2021 performance and why it came as a turning point for the telco giant's outlook. Despite the myriad of challenges, Telstra was able to deliver results in line with its guidance, and the earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortisation in the second half was higher than that of the first half, and the company anticipates financial year 21 underlying EBITDA to be in the range of 7 to 7.3 billion Australian dollars. And Telstra witnessed a strong performance in its mobile business, continued discipline on cost reduction targets, green shoots in a few of its growth businesses, and a lessening effect from the national broadband network. And now it's time for a break in the Buzzing Trends show, but stay tuned with me as I'll be back with the trending insights on the recent buyback announcements by the Commonwealth Bank, NAB and ANZ Banking. Hi, I'm Sage, and get ready to take the crypto ride with me on 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV. Watch the Crypto Buzz every Tuesday and join the excitement at 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV. From Bitcoins to NFTs to Dogecoin and DeFi, we have updates about everything around these digital currencies. Understand the investing rationale and the risks involved in the space with me, Sage, on Crypto Buzz. Keep watching 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sage. You're watching The Buzzing Trends. In the first segment today, we explored details of Telstra's announcement on the share buyback, and now we'll take a look at the similar share buyback announcements from the Commonwealth Bank, NAB and ANZ Banking. So let's start with a record 6 billion Australian dollars share buyback announced by Commonwealth Bank recently. Soon after this announcement, the share price of Commonwealth Bank of Australia climbed to an all-time high of $109.03 Australian. Commonwealth Bank Chairman Catherine Livingstone said that the bank's strong capital position means that it is well placed to manage ongoing uncertainties while also returning a portion of surplus capital to shareholders. And after careful consideration, the Commonwealth Bank Board has determined that the buyback is the most efficient and value-enhancing strategy to distribute the bank's surplus capital and franking credits. Its buyback follows after the completion of various divestments. So post-buyback, the bank will continue to have a strong surplus capital position, and shareholders taking part in the bank share buyback may offer their shares to Commonwealth Bank at 10% and 14% discounts to the market price. On the other hand, shareholders can elect to sell their shares at the final buyback price. And the bank chairman Livingstone also said that the shareholders would benefit from the reduced share count, encouraging return on equity and dividends per share. In the statement in the announcement, she highlighted that the bank had secured a draft class ruling from the Australian Taxation Office, indicating that for Australian income tax purposes, its buyback price will include a capital component of 21.66 Australian dollars per share, with the remainder of the buyback price deemed to be a fully franked dividend. And the bank also declared a final dividend of $2 Australian per share, and this suggests that now the full year dividend will be $3.50 Australian per share, up 17% over the previous year. And the bank had previously released an interim dividend of $1.50 Australian per share. In its full year results announced yesterday, the bank has revealed that its home lending has increased by 12%, whereas business lending has increased by 9% compared to the previous year. Commonwealth Bank also announced that its cash net profit after tax rose 19.8%, up to 8.65 billion Australian dollars for the recently concluded Australian financial year. And moving on now, we'll take a look next at some of the recent examples of other share buyback programs by banks. Recently, the National Australia Bank announced its share buyback plan as well, worth up to 2.5 billion Australian dollars. And NAB is expected to repurchase the shares on the open market starting in mid to late August. On the 20th of July 2021, ANZ Banking Group announced a 1.5 billion Australian dollar buyback. And on that day, as soon as this announcement was made, ANZ's shares traded 29 basis points higher on the Australian Stock Exchange at $27.23 Australian per share. And thank you for joining us on that report. That's all from me for now. I hope you enjoyed our show today, and we'll keep watching 𝐊𝐼𝐴 TV's live shows. We have more planned for you, so please stay tuned. Sage signing off.